conspiracies, and much more. Starring your host and co-host, Jenny Nicasio, Sean Kelly, and Jason Sledgehammer I. Petro. Brought to you by UPRN Network. Now for your host, Jenny Nicasio.
Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy on FM 105.3 New Orleans, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio, along with my co-host Sean Kelly and Jason Ian Petro.
Good evening.
Got you off guard, huh? I was going to
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, well,
you did.
you know it is.
Happy Torture Tuesday.
I don't think so.
You don't think it's a Torturous Tuesday?
It's the infamous best day of the week, Torture Tuesday.
Torture Tuesday.
Tuesday,
yeah. We're going to torture everybody for 2 hours.
Abbott and Costello. Well, you're the Three Stooges, okay? Yeah, I'm having a bad hair day, okay, guys?
Yeah, me too.
It looks okay. Looks all right.
My hat. I think my head's getting too big because my hats are getting bigger. So that means
you're shrinking. You're shrinking.
I'm gonna go to Spirit's Halloween store because they have some really cool ones. So I'm gonna do that. You have an interesting night.
You gonna wear your witchy hat?
Who told you about my witchy hat? No, I import mine from the Transylvania.
Salem.
Maybe. Don't be messing with the witches. Not that I am one. I only play one on TV. No, I have.
Where's your broom at?
It's over there parked. I told you it was in the shop. I have to get some new tread on them. The bristles are a little loose, but anyways, we should have an interesting evening tonight. I was going to call off because I can't breathe. I went for a walk, and I went for a walk in the weeds. And I shouldn't do that. Why do I do that? I don't know why I do that.
It's allergy season.
Oh my God, It's horrifying. It seemed like it was worse today because we had a rain in the morning, and I think something happened. Like if there was any kind of ragweed, it just went everywhere. But we have an interesting evening tonight. We have surprise. We have a new co-host, and I'm going to read her bio before we get started with the guest. Okay, I've been debating this because I think we need another girl to the team. Okay, since we're you guys, we're two boys, we should have two girls, right? So let me do this. I'm going to read it off my phone, so have mercy and don't be so critical because I can't see very well. Okay, Trisha, I hope I say her name. Trisha Morris is a freelance artist, photographer, currently residing in the land of Oz and the heart of the United States, known as Kansas. Oh yes, I love Kansas. Toto. Okay. She is the owner of the Savage Roots. Oh gosh, I can't. Oh gosh, she's gonna have to tell me about this. Ichimel. I can't pronounce it. Sorry, Trish. And the studio where her work can be viewed in Topeka, Kansas. She studied criminal justice with a minor in psychology at the University of Kansas and Colorado Technical University. It includes focused on serial killers. Oh, that's good. I like that. Yes, that sounds awesome. She is currently pursuing a master's PhD combination degree at the University of Sedona in metaphysics. Trisha is a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I need one of those. Okay, currently working on obtaining her neurologist. Oh my God, I'm having some serious problem. Okay, you got to help Lynn. Come on, guys. Linguistic programming.
You said it right.
Certification as well. I said it the first time. Right. Trisha was born outside of Roswell, my favorite town in New Mexico. Oh, yes. And has a long history of supernatural experiences in her own life, to include near-death experiences and mediumship from a very young age. We're going to welcome the beautiful Trisha to the floor.
Torture Tuesday.
Torture Tuesday. Hi, Trish.
Hi, Trish.
Hey, Trish. How are you?
How's it going?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
I thought you could hear me. I thought you could hear me.
I was like, I lost everyone.
Yeah, go ahead. We're just putting you on. We're putting you on the spot here. So go ahead and tell Sean and myself a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Well, as my bio said, I live in Kansas now. I live in Topeka, and I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. That's what I do. I mostly run my art studio and photography at the moment while I'm working on my neurolinguistic. That was the word that
I know I can't talk.
Neurolinguistic programming is the next certification I'm planning on or trying to achieve, as well as my metaphysics degree. So.
Wow, that's amazing. That is a
Very
lot
good.
of stuff there. And
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
so
is.
she's gonna bring. I think she's gonna bring a lot to our show, and I'm so happy to have you on board because that takes some of the pressure off me. Yeah. So what do you think? So before we get started, and so welcome. This is going to be a fun night. Okay. Guys went to Gettysburg. So you did go, right? And I
Yep.
kind of don't, I have a lot to say about one of your pictures, but we're going to save that for our second hour. So we're going to go ahead and bring our Ellen onto the board. And let me just tell you a little bit about Ellen. Let's give me a second to get to my notes. Okay, we're going to talk about in his book I read, it was very interesting. And I have to say, at first I was a little skeptical about it, but I'm going to let him tell us a little bit more about his book. Let me just find my information here. So in the book, he talks about the 13 signs of hauntings. Now, you guys are paranormal investigators, so you pretty much know all that. And so you can debate with him what you think, okay? I just want to make sure I pull up the right book because I'm on my computer's not acting right lately. And, when you have things already set up and then when you go get it, it's not there. It's kind of pisses you off.
It's called Torture Tuesday for a reason.
I know, really, seriously. No, it's not going to be. That's not that bad. No, I just had a couple of his books up on the screen. And of course, when you want them, you can't find them. And let me just go back to find them. But he was talking about the 13 signs of hauntings. Now, some of them are just obvious. I mean, you can say they're obvious. I think they're obvious. And I'm sure you do feel the same way because you guys deal with the paranormal in your investigations. And Trish, you pretty much know about there's certain signs, and some of them are just obvious signs. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure them out. But of course, I have so much stuff on my computer I can't find. So let me just go to the website. Someone ding dong.
I guess I'll explain to the guys and the listeners. I have kind of a different way of how I have come upon different supernatural and paranormal experiences and locations. It's always somewhere that I guess I'm called to. And then from there, through various means of communication, messages from the spirits, things like that, is how I receive my information. So it's a little bit different than I guess, investigators where you use different equipment and stuff. I just use my intuition and wherever I'm called to. So.
Okay. How do you communicate? You just, do you go into a meditation to listen, or
there
how do you do it?
So many different ways that messages come across to me. And I know this varies, but by people who do have that ability. It could be in writing. I could write, scribing, or through the radio, my phone, things like that, or just being there in person and intuitively feeling the energy and being guided by that. If I actually physically touch a location, I can kind of see what's happened there. So I try not to, I know in a lot of places that I visit, I try not to read up on it. I try not to watch any movies or shows or anything if it's a pretty popular place, because I don't want that to influence me in any way as far as my own, I guess, investigation.
Cool.
Right.
So I found the book, so that's good. The book is called Things to Come. And so let me go ahead and read his bio real quick before we bring him on the show. Okay, now we're going to talk about the 13 signs of hauntings. Now, there's this chapter in his book about body snatchers, which is really interesting. And the ends a time in the pineal gland. That's right. I might be saying that wrong too because I've mixed too much medication tonight.
Pineal.
Pineal. I'm serious. Maybe I shouldn't be here. I think I mixed too much cold medicine. Okay. So forgive me, folks. I'm not normally this weird. Well, yes, I am. Okay. So Alan Wright was born with the abilities that were passed down to him from his great grandmother. And as he got older, his abilities became stronger. His grandfather died in 1982 and went to see him in astral projection in 1983. He learned of the level of heaven and hell. And after coming back from this, his abilities became even stronger. And he told the world what was to come in the ends of time. So that's going to be interesting. So I'm so happy to have him on the show tonight. And so without further ado, okay, Alan, Wright, how are you today?
I'm just fine. How are you?
Wow.
Losing my voice here.
Better catch it.
I'm okay. Yeah, they can hear me. There
Yeah,
I
we
am.
can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you real well.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, perfect.
So right off the top, Alan, what inspired you to write these books?
Well, my wife came up to me one day and she said, since you've had so many experiences, you ought to write a book about them. So I wrote the first book, Through the Veil and Back. Then I wrote the second book, At the Edge of Infinity or Eternity. Then I worked so on and so forth up until the ninth book, Things to Come. And I guess I had a lot of experiences. I know you guys were ghost hunters, if you want to call them that. You go to places that's supposed to be haunted, and you, I don't know, you ask them questions and stuff. I never went exploring for ghosts. I never had to. They came to me since I'm a medium. I have a respect for most of the spirits that's in these haunted places, mainly because most of them had lives like we have. And I just have a respect for them in that I guess over the years, a lot of them would become very hostile, and they would do things that you probably wouldn't want to have done.
Did they ever hurt you?
I had an attachment one time when I was writing my book. I wrote a book about a spirit that I had a affiliation with when he was had his own body, and in spirit form he attacked me, and I had him on me or in me for about 2 weeks before I could get him off. I had to perform cleansing and everything else to get him away from me, but I finally did.
So you were kind of like possessed, pretty much?
Well, I wouldn't call it a possession, just an attachment. I had mood swings and stuff like that. I was very quick to anger. I was basically just not myself for about 2 weeks. My wife, my wife was going to divorce me, but I told her what was going on, and I never thought you could get an attachment from writing a book, but I did at that time. I never heard of anybody getting an attachment by it, but I did.
And you said you got rid of it by yourself without the assistance of...
Yeah, I did. I smudged myself. I'm also I'm a minister myself. I smudged myself. I gave myself blessings. I commanded it to leave in the name of Jesus Christ and by the priesthood that I hold, and whatever it left. So I didn't have to worry about it anymore. I came back to myself, and but that was kind of a scary thing to have something like that happen to you. Have any of you had an attachment?
Nope.
Not personally, no.
Nope.
Maybe to
Not at all.
objects. There's been like some objects that had something attached to them and then get rid of it, but nothing to like personal being per se.
Well, like I said, I don't have to go out looking for it. It seems to come to me.
That's how I am.
You know, when you're a medium, you have spirits around you all the time, 24/7.
Yep.
And you try to pick out the good ones whenever you're doing readings and stuff like that. I'm on a show Sundays. It's called Crossed Over Connections. I'm co-host, and we do readings on there. We do healings, and we try to have we try to get nothing but the good things on there. We bless the show before it starts, so that nothing comes through that's negative. Sometimes you get something through, because you can't you can't control spirits all the time. They like electronics. They know how to use them.
Yeah.
And they can put you right off the air if you're on the radio in an instant. We've had that happen to us. We've had our microphones played with where they just cut them off. We had weird voices coming on our microphones also, which went over the air. We've had all kinds of things happen to us on this radio show. But you try to control it the best way you can, but that's the way it is. I can tell you right now, lots of times when I'm on a radio show that those things happen. Sometimes I know one show I didn't appear at all because I just couldn't get on. They couldn't get me on. I've had shows where I'm talking and all of a sudden I'm off the air. I think I have messages that the afterlife don't want me to tell. Some of my experiences probably they don't want me to tell you about. I've been through the veil and back. I know what's on the other side of the veil. I've been there. I went and saw my grandfather in 1983 after he died in 1982. My grandfather and I were very close. He was a father figure to me, more than my own father was. But it started out as, I didn't know what to call it when I came back from this thing, whether it was out-of-body experience, a near-death experience, a vision. I'll tell you a story. I went to bed one night immediately when my head hit the pillow. I was in this room. I realized it was a hospital room, and I was up in the corner of the room, and I was looking down. And I was looking down on a gurney, and there was a body on that gurney, and there was a doctor and a nurse looking over that body, and they were talking back and forth. Well, that body turned out to be mine, and it's kind of scary to see your own body laying there on a gurney, and you know that you're dead. And after I realized that, I started moving up through the ceiling of the hospital, up through the roof of the hospital. And then I was in the wide open spaces, and I was continually going up. And I could see the lights of the city, and I could see it was nighttime, and I could see baseball field had its lights on and stuff. And as I got higher, I thought the city was pretty at night with all the lights on and stuff. I kept going higher, and I kept going faster. And pretty soon I was up above the earth, and I started to get scared, frightened. And I knew I was dead, and I thought, I was wondering which way I was going to go, which most people would want to know, whether you're going to go to heaven or to hell. And I was thinking to myself, well, since I was going up, I might be going to heaven. But then I was looking at the earth as I was up there, and it was beautiful. The blue oceans and everything. It was very pretty up there, very nice looking. But as I was watching it, I thought, it's beautiful up here, but down there it's ugly, with the wars and the murders and the rapes and everything that mankind does to the earth and what they do to each other. And instantly this voice came to me right straight through my head, and it was almost like they were standing beside me. But it said, the earth is fulfilling the purpose for which it was created. And there's a lot of stuff in that one little sentence. The earth is fulfilling the purpose for which it was created. In other words, the earth was created. And for whatever reason, it was fulfilling that purpose. And that purpose is us. Whatever happens on this earth, it's got a purpose for it. Now try to figure that out. It's very deep. One little sentence. But anyway, as I was contemplating that, I went back to wondering what my thing was, whether I was going to heaven or hell. And all of a sudden that verse came back to me again. And it says, because of the things that you did, the choices you made, the obstacles that you had to overcome, and the whole hardships, those choices that you made is a reason why you're here where you're at today. Anyway, I contemplated that a bit, and I really didn't know what it was trying to say, that voice. But I realized now I was among the planets, and Earth stood out among the planets. It's something that looks like it shouldn't belong there, as far as I was concerned. But I was still going fast. I was still going in the same direction. At that time, you can't really call it up, but I was going away from the earth. And then I started worrying about my family, what they were going to do with me, about what they were going to do since I wasn't there anymore, that I had passed. Who was going to support them and watch over them? And all of a sudden, that voice came back to me again, and it said, because of the things that you had to overcome, the choices you had to make, choices that you made, and the obstacles that you had to overcome, and the things that you did, and the things that you had to overcome, your family has to do likewise, so that they too can be at the place where you're at today. And the only thing I could think of was everything that we go through in our life has a purpose, just like the earth has its purpose. And it's because of those choices, whether they are right or wrong, is where we go in the afterlife. You have to make sure that whenever you make a choice, that you're making the right choice. Because if you don't, you know of karma. I feel that a lot of the sins and stuff that we commit in our lifetime here, we pay for in this lifetime because because it was told to me that the only things we really pay for, we meet our maker, so to speak, are the ones like murders and rapes and the bad ones. The rest of them we pay for here on earth. And also, what we go through here on earth makes us stronger, makes our spirit stronger. We don't go to hell for stealing a candy bar, but through karma and through our parents, we learn not to do that again. And that's part of paying our due for doing what we shouldn't be doing. Anyway, that's enough of that for right now. But anyway,
There's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Sean, what do you think about that?
But anyway, I was still going up and faster, and I was among the stars at this time, and I didn't realize that they were different colors from here on Earth.
And that's all. That's just from astro projection that you experienced, or is that a?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was until after I got back. Then people started talking about an astral projection, and from the way they described it, that's basically what I had. But even then, it was different than, I actually saw my own death. I don't know if you see that in an astral projection.
I don't think so. Trish,
I was going to say, I was going to say, I've astral projected, and that's one thing. But then I've also had these near-death experiences, which are completely different experiences than.
But let me continue on, though. Anyway, I was going faster, and at stars, like I said, I was going so fast now that the stars became white streaks. And then all of a sudden, darkness. And I could feel, just like the near-death experiencers felt, like I was in some kind of tunnel. But it was pitch dark in there. It was black. I couldn't see my hands in front of my face. And I started getting fearful again, and I was wondering where that voice was. I didn't hear it anymore. And then all of a sudden, I saw a pinhole of light in front of me. And that light became stronger and stronger and bigger. And all of a sudden, I started slowing down. And I slowed down, and I went into this light. And this light is love and compassion and caring, all the good emotions that you have. Except these emotions were tangible, almost like you could reach out and grab them, and they go right straight through your body. And you don't ever want to leave that light. These emotions are different than what we have here on Earth. We can say we love somebody, but it's not like this light. That light loves you, and you know it because it's got you by by a clasp.
Sean, excuse me, Alan. And Sean, yeah. You were shaking your head. What? You have something on your mind?
Yeah, I do have something on my mind. I respect your author stuff, and the books that you're writing, but I died. Okay.
You died.
And
Yeah.
I didn't go to Noville. Okay. I didn't see stars shining and went to a light. I went down to the darkness. That's where I went. Okay. And when I came back from that darkness, right, then my senses, my abilities became. When I hear you talk about hearing voices telling you this, do you know who actually is talking to you? That's my question. Because I've been in the
Well,
business for over 30 years.
yeah. Well, I've been in my business for a lifetime. I'm 72 years
Okay.
old, so no, I
I'm
was raised
59
as
and been in this business for 29, for
I
30
was
years.
raised,
So you have to, I'm just like blown away here.
Well,
Seriously.
maybe you
well,
just well, he was a
let
better
me
person.
continue a little bit here, guys. Okay. After I went through this light, I came to a place where I saw a person. Now, remember, I was raised as a church-going Christian, a Baptist, a Bible-thumping Baptist, and I saw leaning up against this rock a man who looked like Jesus. He had long hair, beard, white robe, sandals, the 9 yards. And this light was coming from him. Now, after I came back from all of this, I'm not through with this, by the way. I got thinking, how is he presented to a Hindu? How is he presented to somebody that is not a Bible thumping Christian? And I've always thought of I'm kind of a UFO. I've seen UFOs in my lifetime. I kind of feel aliens had a lot to do with the creation of the world, and also with things that has happened in human history. And I feel that they have a lot to do with the voice in my ear. I feel like uh, I can take a lot of verses out of the Bible and make them almost just like uh, ancient aliens. I mean,
Well,
uh,
how do you know you're not talking to an ancient alien?
well, I've got to tell you right now, uh, people worship God, and the person I saw was very intelligent. He had all the power you would ever want to see in a person, and I would bend the knee to him anytime. But that's the thing. Was he a person, or was he some kind of device like what the children of Israel had when they were in the desert eating the manna? Was that a machine that was producing that stuff that they were eating? I'm just saying that what we were taught all our lives through generations and generations might be completely different. Now, Sean, what I was going to say to you, a lot of these people have different experiences like yours. Some are dark, some are like mine, some are totally different, where they're riding horses and all kinds of stuff. Uh, Now, I don't know the meaning of that. I really don't. I can only tell you what the experience was that I had.
I
Well,
know in hypnotherapy, a lot of the time when people have traumatic circumstances or injuries, comas, accidents, PTSD, things like that, the picture basically that your mind creates when you're in that position, a lot of times, is called, they call it your higher consciousness, or because that's something that's derived from your beliefs and things you've studied. Like you said, you study different religion all your life and things like that. So that would be your experience. Well, somebody who has a different belief, that would be their experience, because
Exactly.
that is their higher consciousness. So when your brain is dying in a situation like that, literally, that's what's preserved, is going to be your higher consciousness bringing up, causing that experience.
But my brain wasn't dying that night. I didn't have any health problems. So that's something I can't get over. I don't know. The only thing I can connect it with is something that was extraterrestrial.
Yeah, so yours wasn't a near-death experience. It was it was like
that
an encounter, huh?
It could be an encounter. I don't know. The only thing that actually matches up to it is an astral projection. That would be through the last part of it, you know. After I saw this guy, I blacked out. Now, I thought I blacked out at the time when I came back. But when I awoke again, I was in this meadow or this field with high grass and flowers around. And I was getting myself up. I heard water in the background. I heard animals and stuff. There was a forest on the other side of this field. And there was also a path along that forest. And I could hear insects and stuff in the flowers and stuff. And when I got up, when I stood up, I was in a circle of people. And the people in that circle were my ancestors who had passed before me and close friends. But I wasn't paying too much attention to them because I saw my grandfather standing straight in front of me. And he began to talk to me, but he didn't move his mouth. He could do it telepathically. And he was expressing to me how much he loved me and stuff. And I was doing the same to him, telling him how much I loved him and everything. And we talked back and forth for a while. And then I don't remember anything else until towards the end. I was walking side by side with him on that path next to that forest, and he was telling me things. And the next thing I know, I woke up in the morning at the time that I was supposed to wake up to get ready for work. And I had this feeling like I stood before God or something. I was energized so much, I felt like that I was glowing. Now, I've heard of people that came back from being abducted and stuff like that, and they've had the same feelings about, or felt like they were glowing. At least that's what I've heard. But there again, I don't know what the experience was. But as I got older, now I was 30 some odd years old at that time. As I got older, every few years, I got little bits and pieces of information from that experience. And I knew it was from that experience because I was told it was from that experience. And I couldn't figure out why they couldn't tell me all of that in one lump sum. And the only thing I can think of is they didn't tell me that because they would have overloaded my mind just like you would overload a computer. Because all that stuff at that time, I wouldn't be ready to accept, especially with my Christian background and everything else. I just would not accept that. And those places where I was blacked out, I think my memory was erased at that point in two different points. Now, I felt that I was only there a few hours one night, but I could have been there a week. I could have been there 5 years. I could have been there 20 years. They have no time there. They are in spirit form. My ancestors were, especially. They live forever. There's no time. Spirit is energy. You can't destroy energy. All you can do is change it to another form. I also want to let you know that the others that was there that was talking to me were aliens, but they looked just like us. They, uh, they, I guess that they could speak any language that they wanted, but they spoke English to me, and they're the ones that was educating us. If you want to tell me that my ancestors were there also. I find this. I know you guys really got to bring out the stupid flag after I leave. I know you guys are having trouble accepting this, but it's true. Every bit of I say is true.
Alan,
I've experienced it.
excuse me. One of the people in the comments said, Steve Gray said, this is reminding him of a lot what people have claimed they have experienced while using a controversial God helmet. Have you heard of that? Any of you guys heard of a God helmet?
No.
I've heard of it, but I've never used one.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying. It reminds me of a God. It's like it's an apparatus. The Korean. It's used to be called the Korean helmet. It's supposed to put you in touch with using low intensified magnetic field. It's giving you this feeling of a mystical experience into an altered state of reality. So
I think it just activates different parts of your brain, stimulates it or whatever, and gives you that God.
Okay, yeah. So, like in your book, you had a lot of different topics. Like the one was the 13 signs of a paranormal, like a haunting. Do you want to go over those since we do have the paranormal investigators on the show?
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can remember. Was it in book 10?
It was in the book. Yeah, it was in your book.
Fire away.
Book 9, I mean.
It was in the book. Where is it? Things to Come.
Oh, Things to Come. Yeah, that's my newest book. Remember what chapter I was?
Yeah, you started saying that there was the 13 signs of a haunting. Like one of them was the flickering of lights. Of course, we all know that.
Oh yeah.
And then changes in the temperature. Sean and Jason, you know that you've experienced that. Trish, have you ever experienced a change in the temperature?
No, absolutely, all the time.
All the time. And he also, Ellen, you said that there was sound like music. What did you mean by that? Sounds of music.
Well, sometimes they turn on your radio and stuff like that, or you go into a haunted place and you can hear, say, like music, and it's like it's hard to explain. It's almost like coming through it from another dimension or something, and a lot of times it's just muted like, but you can still hear it.
So you mean you can hear music when you hear like some kind of music, but you don't have the radio on? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Jason,
well, it's like people.
Can you answer that?
Yeah, like sometimes you'll hear something very faint. There might be a few of you that hear it, and the best way to gather that evidence would be with a digital recorder to verify what everybody heard. But we've experienced that before, Sean and I, with some of our other team members, being in some historic buildings, and you just hear old Victorian era music and can't describe where it's coming from.
I think in my experience, spirits come through with a lot of times the music from their era, or their the time that they lived in, as well as smells and things like that. Cigar smoke, a lot of people say, perfumes.
Yeah.
Well, we investigated the Italian club down in Sallerwood. and
You
me,
smell
Russ, and
spaghetti
me.
sauce and garlic? No, I'm sorry.
No. But it was back in the 40s and 50s. So we came up with an idea, go on YouTube and find some 40s and 50s music. And we
Yeah.
played it. We got a little stuff on it. I mean, a little bit of stuff happening, but I mean, yeah. And then we spoke Italian through the phone. You know what I mean?
Sono mio, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
that.
Well, that was where the orbs crossed each other's paths and knocked Russ's camera over.
Well,
Yeah,
Was it?
I
Yeah,
got that
was
video.
reason.
I got that video.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's good. That's what's nice. That's cool when you get that kind of stuff. Now, you also said you got the clock stopping. Now, I've experienced that. Clock stopping, butterflies. I've experienced butterflies.
Butterflies, like real butterflies, or like butterflies in your stomach?
I don't know, Alan.
Probably
What
both.
do you,
Did
both?
you see them flying away, or did they flutter your belly?
Well, you also,
Well, I mean, bugs can be, you know, a spiritual thing as
yeah,
well.
it can't be. Yeah, especially one crawling on you like a spider coming.
Ooh,
Scary ass spiders. I hate spiders.
I don't
But
like them
when
either.
you said faces of people who have lived before, now what do you mean? You actually see the faces, Alan, or is this something that you see a face in a piece of wood or the wall, or what do you mean by faces?
Sometimes you just see the face. I know when I see an apparition, a lot of times it's not the whole thing. It's sometimes just the face. It's like the rest of the body is not there. It could be the same height as the person was when they were living, but the rest of the body wasn't there, just the face. It's almost like that's the only thing they want to present to you is the face. My wife and I lived in a haunted house for 3 years, so we've been through stuff. We didn't have to go look for it, like I told you guys. You know, we lived it. I came home from work one day and there was hundreds of flies in the windows of the dining area.
Demonic. Flies in the window. That's
Yeah,
something out of the Omen or Exorcist.
That's bad stuff. And this was years ago. I wasn't really in tune with everything yet. But I came home from work. We had like 6 dogs. I didn't want to start spraying poison around trying to kill these flies. I got out fly swatter and it just started swatting flies. And I don't know whether the demonic entity decided it wasn't worth it or what, but I was able to kill all of them that day. And I came home the next day and they were there again. But what I'm trying to say is, after we killed them, we thought, well, we did a good job. But my wife and I was watching TV one night. We had a large screen TV, and we kept seeing these flies flying up through the screen of the TV, you know, like a shadow. And I thought, oh, wow, they're back again. But they weren't. You know, every living thing on Earth has a spirit. Every living thing. And these flies had spirits. And when I killed them, they were flying around just like they were in life. What we saw was their spirits flying up through the light of the TV because they weren't around. There was nothing there. I got a friend that came over, and him and I blessed the house. We went through, we cast the thing out. We were able to do that because we never had any problems with it after that. But after we blessed the house and everything that time, we also had shadow people.
Oh, I like shadow people. They're my friends.
Yeah. But don't give me any letters about being bad with shadow people.
Well, hey, the next time you have a fly issue, I'd highly recommend the Bug Assault 2.0. It's a very fun, effective way to knock down bugs. It's like it's like a toy shotgun that shoots table salt and kills bugs. It's awesome. Instead of a fly swatter, you can have some fun.
Well, on that note, we got to take a break for our sponsor. Just give me 1 second.
Believe those that can choose or believe in none. It's your choice. Just get comfortable, sit back, dim the lights, and listen.
It was fun.
It was longer last week. What happened?
Yeah.
Well, it's because for some reason I'm not really sure what's going on with this. It was supposed to be longer than that, so I'm not sure why it didn't work, guys.
Torture Tuesday strikes again.
Torture Tuesday. Yes.
Oh, here we go.
There we go again.
Why isn't it playing?
The spirits are messing with your computer, Jay.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's that ghost in your room that's just doing it.
Oh my God, it's behind you. Turn around.
I want to thank our first sponsor, Ohio Hauntings and Legend Podcast. They'll take you on 1,000 of haunted locations, unexplained paranormal, campfire stories, supernatural happenings, and legends from all over Ohio's 88 counties that have stained by the pages of Ohio hauntings history. Stories that have haunted our society, tales that have gripped towns and cities across Ohio for centuries as true events. Many of these episodes are genuine, others are legend or hearsay. Their motto is believe those that can choose or believe in none. It's your choice. Just get comfortable, sit back, dim the lights, and listen.
That was good.
Yeah, it was. That was good.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, so we're going to move on to something that I want to talk about, Alan. You talked about body snatchers. Now, what do you mean by the body snatchers? Is it the kind where the pods are from the old, really old movie, and then they remade it where the aliens lived in the pods in your backyard and take over the world?
They're coming to get you.
It's kind of more like when they snatch your body, it's more like a possession than anything else. And I just talk in that chapter about different ways that they can weaken your body and basically snatch it. Different things I think that you can do that weakens your spirit. If you have a strong spirit, a lot of times you don't get possessed unless the thing that you run into is stronger than you are.
Okay, so the body snatchers is a possession. Just want to make that
pretty
clear.
much
Okay.
so.
Okay, so then you also talked about the ends of time. And that's where we're going to leave it at. This is the last topic. We're going to talk about the ends of time. So
yeah, I'm curious to hear about this.
Yeah, me too.
ahead.
I'm extremely.
The end of the end times. So, what do you want me to talk about? Everything?
Well, you said that you were told that the world would come to an end in your lifetime. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, this was a few years ago. I say a few, it was about 20 years ago. And at the time, I didn't think it was a reality because 20 years ago, things were better than what they are now. But as time goes on now, it's becoming a reality. And I'm receiving verification of that just in my feelings and stuff that I'm getting. And it just fortifies what I was told 20 years ago.
what do you mean told? Someone told you these, or was this a dream?
No, it was a message that came to me through my mind, almost like that voice did. It's there. It comes there, and it just.
Trisha, what do you have to say about that?
Warned me of things.
I was going to say, I get the same thing. And a few years ago, it was probably 2000. let's see, when was the shutdown last year? 2019. I started receiving messages like that, I guess, from spirit, higher power, whatever you believe in. And I, was telling my family, everyone I know, that the world's coming to an end and they need to get prepared and stuff. But over the years, do you think, I was explaining this the other day to someone that in tarot, you have like the death card. Now, when you pull that card, that doesn't necessarily mean literal death all the time. That can mean death and rebirth of a situation, of whatever. So do you think that maybe that was a reset in the world, like not a literal end of times of the world, but a reset, death and rebirth, a transformation per se at that time?
Well, if you ever listen to our show on Sunday, we've talked about that a little bit. And yes, I call it the end of the world. Probably I should have put as we know it. We're going to be going through some bad times, and the earth is going to be going through a lot of changes. And it's going to be bad. And there's going to be a lot of people that's going to lose their lives because of it. I hate to be, I don't know how to put it, but you got to tell it like it is. And before the rebirth, there's going to be a lot of things going on. There's going to be floods. And people say, well, we're going to have floods all the time anyway. Well, not like these floods. These are going to be floods. And then earthquakes, same way. Well, we have earthquakes. These are going to be big earthquakes. There's going to be more of them. They're going to be more numerous. Things are going to be happening, and they're going to be happening so fast that the human race is not going to be able to actually keep up with it. Now, there's people out there saying, climate change, that happened thousands of years, and it's going to happen this time too. Well, thousands of years ago, we weren't on this earth that much. We were probably still living in caves or something. It's going to happen again, and this time climate change is going to be hurting us. Where there's deserts, there's going to be it's going to be green. Where there used to be water, it's going to be dry. California and the western part of the United States right now has been under drought for years, and our reservoirs and streams and rivers are drying up here in the western part of the United States, while the eastern part is getting so much water they can hardly handle it. Say what you want. You can criticize me if you want, but what's happening is happening. And you can sit out on your front porch and laugh at me all you want as you're floating down the river that didn't used to be there. I'm telling you what I was told, and like you, I was told in spirit. It's hard to describe something that's told to you in spirit. Like I said, I'm a medium. When I give a reading, I give a reading that's told to me by spirit. I get somebody's ancestor or relative to talk to me, and they tell me what to tell their loved one. This is basically the same way, but most generally it's my spirit guides. And most generally they don't lie to me. If they did, I guess I would not be doing what I'm doing as far as being a medium. I'm just telling you what's going to happen is going to happen. Then after it's all said and done, and the earth has got all this changes on it, the human race, whatever's left, oh, by the way, there's going to be another war or two going on in here too. World war. Now, I got a prediction that's going to start in the Middle East. And it's gonna, by the time it's over and done with, it's gonna involve every country in the world. We're all going to be fighting this. And with everything else going on, by the way, there's going to be another pandemic. This was just the first one. We got another one coming up here pretty quick, almost on the tail end of this one. This one's not going to get over with, by the way, until next year. Probably, I was told probably around April or May. But after it's all said and done, the wars killed everything they could. The nature's killed everybody that they could, that it could. Whatever's left is going to be the part that restarts the earth again, especially the human race. I'm just telling you this. This is what I even had almost like a movie, what it was showing me. I saw this stuff.
Alan, excuse me.
Yes.
When you say, was this biblical? I mean, is this something like, are you getting some kind of like a prophet, like you're a prophet, or are you getting these messages from a loved one that passed? Because you said you're a medium.
Well, I am a medium, but I'm also a spiritual medium, and wherever I'm getting it from, maybe I'm getting it from the guy I thought was Jesus. I don't know, but all I know is I'm getting these things. In the past, I have known they are true because they came about as being true. So you can call it a host of the show, co-host on Sunday, and ask her if what I'm telling you now is right. I told her 2 months before they even announced or said anything about COVID-19 that there was something big coming and it was going to be bad. I told her that then, and she can tell you that I told her that. And it did come, and it was pretty bad. And I'm telling you guys now, I'm being more explicit as to what it is. It's going to be earthquakes, floods. There's going to be, you talk about wildfires. There's going to be a lot of wildfires. It's going to be, the reason why I'm doing it, not to scare people. I'm telling you where maybe you could prepare for some of it, you know? I don't know what else.
Trish, go ahead.
Well, I guess my thing is, even with those messages, I learned that everything, even in our own personal lives, history repeats itself. It's been proven, with plagues and pandemics and everything. That's repeated every 100 years. That's been repeated. There's certain wars that have been repeated. There's certain, and so that's one of the big things with alchemy, which, it's transmuting that energy. So I think that because that happens in our own lives, and the universe you'll keep reliving cycles until you learn from it or change it. Because if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So yes, I agree that these things will probably continue to get worse because nothing's changed. After the shutdown last year, everything went, after a few months, there was less pollution, there was less this, less that, but then we all went back to doing the same thing. So we didn't learn from it. So it's going to continue to repeat. It's just like ascension in people's own lives and with their own souls, until something changes. So until there's no war, until there's no, that nothing will change.
World War II ended with an atom bomb. A couple of them. Well, World War III is probably going to start with one. We got some crazy countries out there now that's got nuclear power, and they'll use it if they feel that they are not getting what they want, or if they feel they're going to be harmed in any way. That will be the first thing they use. They will not talk about it. They'll just use it. And that's that's what I'm talking about in the next war to come. We're not talking little bullets and things shot out of cannons or bombs. We're talking about something that could actually destroy the earth almost. And if you can survive the aftermath of all that and the pollution that it causes, radioactivity, then maybe you could be all right, because there will be a rebirth of the earth, but it's going to be slow, and the people that come out of this are going to have to be survivors.
Well, isn't that what you're talking about? Is prophesized in the Revelation? I mean, it's the book of the Apocalypse. I mean, it's all written down. If you believe that, I mean,
well,
it's going to happen. The world's going to end, and it's going to be reborn.
Could be, but I'm not talking about people riding on horses and stuff. I'm giving it to you the way I saw it. And you can read the book of Revelation, and afterwards go, "What the hell did I just read?" But I'm telling you what I just saw. And if you can't interpret that, then something's wrong.
Sean?
Yeah.
Sean.
I'm here.
There he is.
Well, what do you think about that?
All I know is, and this is my opinion, if there is going to be the end of times or atomic bomb is going to happen, it happens, and I'm going to meet Jesus or God, whoever I believe in, on the other side. And that's just like aliens, okay? When the alien attack comes in, all right,
Mars attacks.
What am I going to do? Just wait for. I mean, I want to shake his hand. I'm not being. I mean, I really am trying to be, open-minded here. All right, and really having a hard time. If you want me to be honest with you, okay. So, continue, please.
I think the experience you had, Sean, was probably a life-changing experience for you. You kind of act like it. And I know the experience I had was life-changing for me. And since then, my abilities have become stronger and stronger and stronger. I couldn't read, actually, until 2015. Now, you figure up the years from 1983 until 2015. That's when I started reading. Up until then, I could hear spirits speak to me, but I didn't really know what they were saying as far as me reading to other people. You understand? I couldn't communicate that way. And but now it's more powerful now. I got this stuff I'm telling you tonight, like 2 years ago. And now, maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but I'm beginning to be able to move small things with my mind. And I've never been able to do that in my lifetime. Now, what brought that on? I can't even tell you that. John, can you tell me?
No, I can't.
I can't tell you that either. If I could, I would. But I'm able to do that.
That's cool.
Can you give us? Could you give us an example of what you can move with your mind?
You don't want to know. My wife says you don't want to know. I can actually move a dead bug around and make it kick its legs and stuff just like it was alive. Now, if I can do that to a bug, dead bug, what am I going to do in 2 years from now? Will it be an animal? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how long this is going to get.
That's kind of sacrilegious in the Bible, though.
Yeah, it is sacrilegious, isn't it? But to an insect, I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Well, I thought all creatures had spirits. The same.
I was laying on the floor and I was staring at it. Next thing I know, it started crawling away. when I stopped staring at it, it didn't. It just was dead. Then I stared at it again and got up and started going. And so I know I'm weird. What can I tell you?
That makes me think of the Stephen King movie, Pet Cemetery.
Yeah. But I want you guys to know everything I told you tonight is true. Whatever I wrote in my books are true. I wouldn't have wrote them if they weren't true. I've had 72 years of living whatever I've written in those books. The reason why I told you mainly about things to come is to help people maybe prepare for some of the stuff that's going to come.
Well, Alan, I appreciate you writing the books, but we have other topics that we have to get on, and I want to thank you for being on the show.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Looking
much
forward to
for
your other
being on the
books.
show.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Have a good one. Well,
Well,
Trish, what would you like to say about the show tonight?
So there's a lot of confused people in the world.
I like the little.
we lost her.
Did you hit mute?
Trish, what are you doing?
Trish, you there?
Muted.
No, I'm sorry. I'm still.
You got muted. I
I
think maybe it was Alan.
He was moving bugs under the desk.
And in the a lot of people, when these experiences happen to them, they automatically go towards religion and things like that, which I respect. I think it's the fear basis of certain information like that does scare people, but at the same time, I don't think anything can happen every day. So I don't, when people are going around saying the world's going to end, of course we're all going to end at some point. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can call it prophecy, religion, history repeating itself, whatever you want. And, it's, even though time, I do agree, timing is fluid, and, the universe is infinite, and there's so much we don't know about it. But I think that, and I do agree with a lot of things he said, but people just experience them differently. So I don't think labeling, saying if you don't understand revelations in the Bible, then there's something wrong with you. I don't think that, because a lot of people don't understand the Bible. So
Yeah.
That's another show. That's for another show.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother topic.
I just want to say one thing that Trish, I think you we're having some weird stuff happening. We just lost our connection with Pittsburgh Paranormal, and you were just muted again. So I think Alan's playing with us.
Uh-oh. He's watching.
Hey.
We lost the connection with Pittsburgh Paranormal. We're no longer on Pittsburgh Paranormal Society's stream.
Uh-oh.
Oh, the Torture Tuesday gremlins at their finest.
Gremlins being. Hey, Trish, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I'm impressed on how you were interviewing. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Which part?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want to tell us. Whatever you want to tell us.
Well,
our listeners like to know.
So I kind of, I guess, started out like Alan. Spirits and supernatural things have kind of always come to me my entire life. And it's something that's happened since I was very young. It's something that I used to be terrified of. I was scared of the dark, for that matter, up until I was probably 30, and so once I started embracing all of that and not being afraid of it anymore. He was talking about sometimes there's very, very bad spirits and sometimes there's good ones. And I think that has a lot to do with, well, not only the location, but also the person, because when I resonated with fear of all of those things, I attracted a lot of negative spirits.
Right.
I attract, and it was sometimes dangerous. Things would happen in my house, things would happen, around my animals, things would happen, to a lot of the different locations I went to. And finally one day, I said, okay, I'm not going to be afraid of you anymore. I'm going to face this and face the dark and face, I'm not afraid of cemeteries. I find peace there, for that matter. Because,
I'm right there with you.
Same here.
And I love that, and after I started approaching it differently and changing my perspective on almost everything, I started attracting much more pleasant spirits, I guess. I didn't have the hauntings in my own home and things like that. So I do agree, on that aspect, as far as bugs, like his fly story. I agree with that also. A lot of times infestations are a sign of demonic activity. And there's nothing you can do to get rid of that. I don't know about, I've never seen a bug spirit that I know of. But yes, I do know, and I have experienced a few times in different locations where, I lived in New York on Lake Ontario in a very, very old cottage. And there's many battlegrounds there. In that house, I had, all of a sudden in the middle of winter, I would have a wasp infestation in my house, or
Whoa.
Really
That's
crazy.
different.
Get rid of it and it would come back, things like that. So I do agree with that. And that's that has a lot to do with energy also, though, because bugs are attracted to vibration. They're attracted to energy as well. So I don't think it's necessary. It's not, it is the symbolism of the bugs being there, but until you get rid of that energy and transmute that, then they're still going to be there. So,
causes
interesting.
the energy.
That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, in a lot of native beliefs, different bugs symbolize just like spirit animals. Different bugs can have different meanings when those show up in your life. So a lot of times, and even in my own beliefs, if you see a bug in your house, it's not necessarily they absorb a lot of negative energy. So if you kill that, in a lot of native beliefs, you're releasing that negative energy back into the environment. So if it's just a spider, a single spider, something like that, to many people that could be considered good luck.
I'm not letting those spiders live in my house.
Hey, Trish.
There's one on the loose in
I'm
my
not saying
house.
let it live there. Thank you.
I hate them.
Arachnophobia.
Those black big ones are so disgusting.
Have you heard of the author Ted Andrews?
I have not.
Okay. He has 2 books out. Animals Speak. Okay. And that's all about the animals and your spirit totems. And it tells you why that animal is in your life as a guide. But the second book, which is pretty cool, it talks about insects and what they stand for. So thought I'd share that with you. Ted Andrews.
Ted Andrews. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
I in my everyday life, it's and it always, I know the meaning of and the significance of many of them since I started getting more into spirituality opposed to being religious. And it's always true, we just many times don't pay attention to those signs or don't it's like black cats and witches. It's not that the black cats themselves are bad. It's the symbolism when that shows up in your life. It's a red flag. And the same with bugs. I just a few weeks ago, I knew that as far as the seasons changing and stuff, because I had 2 praying mantises on my door for like 3 days in a row, right before the full moon. And
oh wow,
you don't see those very often. So it's always things that you don't see.
You're not allowed to kill them either.
No,
that's an endangered species. You get a $5,000 fine for that.
No, crickets too. You shouldn't kill.
Crickets, crickets are a sign of good luck for your home as well.
I talked to one the other day.
Too.
And did he bring you good luck, Jenny?
I don't know. I asked. I sat and I had a conversation with the cricket.
Stop making so much noise.
No, he was quiet. He's just. I mean, I think that they do have like a mystical, aura.
Oh yeah, they do, but they are loud. I forget where we were, but I saw a cricket. I don't know where I was, but I tell you what, he was on steroids because this sucker was huge, man. He was huge.
Are you sure it wasn't a grasshopper?
No, it wasn't a grasshopper, man. It was a cricket. I mean, that sucker was huge.
Sean, one of our fellow investigators says that maybe orbs are bug spirits.
Maybe. That leads me to my second question of the night. Okay. I looked at your evidence. I didn't see anything. You guys went to Gettysburg, that evidence that you had on your page. I did not see nothing there. I seen a black mark.
Did you open your eyes?
Uh-oh, I got a message from Alan. Yeah, I did. And I actually made it bigger, and I did not see anything.
Well, it seems...
You know what? Send me it. I'm going to put it on I'm going to put it on right now. I'm going to go. Where is it? It's on Pittsburgh Paranormal Society.
It's there somewhere.
I'm going to try to grab it. And go ahead and tell us about your little trip, so our viewers can hear while I look for this. Okay.
Well, yeah, we went up Thursday and had a fun time. Went investigating. We did bridges this time around, not so much on the battlefield.
Well, did you go to Jenny Wade's house like I told you?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we
did.
did.
You get any pictures?
Took a bunch of pictures, but no floating necklaces or
no floating necklaces.
Oh man,
nothing.
Darn, I was disappointed.
No
nice
pun
intended there.
Yeah, no pun intended.
But it was cool to see the doors that had the bullet holes in them. That was definitely interesting.
Oh man, I wish you.
What was the thing about sticking the ring finger? If a woman sticks a ring finger and
that she'll get married. Yeah.
What do you do?
Something of that. There's a sign on the door that said any woman that comes in and puts her ring finger through the bullet hole in the door will have good luck and get married. So Sean stuck his finger in the door. I didn't know he was a woman until that point.
Well,
it was this one.
Sean,
The
maybe you'll get married. Maybe you're
I don't know.
married.
Man, no, I don't know. No, not yet.
Why? Is that so bad?
I don't know. I did it once before, and I'm happy and content right now where I'm at in my life. And Trisha, you're a good person. I take that up. And I don't want to marry you, Trish. Okay, just want you to know that. All right.
You just
not want Jesus.
You're funny, John.
So, how's the weather in Kansas? What
time is it there?
Yeah.
It is almost 9:30. So,
wow.
And the weather, it's been weird. It's been in the 90s this week. So, we had a late.
Because whatever you get, we get.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've had all 4 seasons in one day before. So you never know with Kansas. It could, snow in the morning and be warm at night. So.
But no, good food. There was one restaurant up there though I was really, really highly upset about. Me, Val, Matt, and Jessica and her daughter.
Well, they were all understaffed this weekend too.
Well, no. Here's the deal. I mean, we walk in and we're dressed as tourists. Okay, we weren't dressed fine. Okay, so we walk in and the damn
sweatpants,
lady
white
comes.
socks.
the damn lady come in and said, I guess you don't have a reservation, do you? I said, sorry, we don't. Well, we're not going to serve you.
Oh,
And I was
my.
like,
Oh,
whoa. And so we went to Tommy's Pizza. That's the best pizza in Gettysburg.
see, I heard
And
the opposite. So how
really,
was it really? Yeah, how was it really?
real good. Real good. Tommy's is real good.
Because I heard it was like tasted like it was like frozen pizza with just some
No,
crap sauce on it.
no, not at all, dude. You're going to have, when we go up again, you're going to have to get one.
Jenny, how do you
I'll
not
find
see that?
I don't see anything.
You don't see the figure standing there with the rifle over his right shoulder?
No. Trish, do you see anything?
No, I don't see anything.
Either do you see it on the screen? Do you see the picture?
Yeah.
Do you see anything inside the green circle?
No.
I don't see anything. And I don't see anything.
See, it's weird. Then this is what makes it interesting about the paranormal. Some people will see it, some people won't.
Well, I know with
see
a lot
anything.
of psychics or witches that you all call them, when photographs are altered or have filters on them, it's very hard for me to read. So, which there's very few photographs out there on social media and stuff today that don't have filters or haven't been altered. So when I'm reading a photo from someone, halfway across the country, it's only difficult if maybe it's because it's enlarged or something. You all saw it in its raw form. But that's in my experience, with all the new technology with pictures, that makes, I guess, my intuition or my abilities or whatever don't work as well.
You know what, then? Excuse me.
Huh.
Jason caught a picture of a UFO.
Okay.
No, he did.
So it's to be determined, yes. So while
Yes,
taking
we're-
pictures there as well, we didn't see anything, with our eyes that, jumped out of the ordinary. But going through some pictures, there was this black object in the sky. There's actually two of them. One of them, we're trying to decipher if it could have been a bird or not, but the other one was more cylindrical and like on a vertical axis that we're not sure what it was. So I'll have to send you that picture. May have caught a UFO. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you did.
Over
That would be
Gettysburg.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Gettysburg.
They just, everyone's talking about over the previous weeks about UFOs being around where there's paranormal activity and Bigfoot activities. So it all coincides.
Well, and right now, this time specifically, the veil is thinner. So this time of year, so you'll hear about, experiences all over the place because of that. So.
Yeah, this is Russ's. Check that out.
I'm trying to make it bigger. Now, what am I looking at there?
The soldier that's on. See where the blue dots are at?
Okay, now is that a real ghost or is that a person dressed up like a soldier?
No, according to Russ, he is telling us because he was showing it to us tonight.
No, I see that.
Right, that's it right there.
Huh.
He said he don't remember seeing anybody walking down that path toward that.
Well, no, that's real legit, but I don't know because that sometimes you see, oh, this is how they get you, okay? That these people are there dressed up, and then they'll be in the woods, and they're actors, and then you think, oh, it's so haunted, but that's not really a ghost; it's just an actor in the woods. So how do you know that's not what it is? I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to be like, how do you know for sure? I mean,
well, because Russ, I look at that picture. All right.
Now, when was this, Ross? When was this? Was he commenting in the comments? No, I don't see.
Was that on this trip up, Sean, that he got that?
Yeah.
That
that was on this trip up that he caught that. You and him are in the car.
No, I can. I mean, how do you know that's not?
It's
usually. Sure, what do you think? I mean, it looks really legit, but I'd have to be there to see it because if it's like a ghostly, like translucent, like ghostly figure, yeah, I'd believe it. But if it's like you and me walking down the path,
Well,
in
look at
uniform.
Well,
well, look at the
there were
pictures.
no reenactments that weekend.
No,
I know,
none.
but you can just somebody might just go there just for shits
What-
and giggles. I mean, like,
What
let's
about
pretend we're
the
ghosts.
picture that I sent you from that cemetery where that guy looks like us and he's standing over a grave?
Well,
Yeah, how do you know it wasn't a
when was
guy?
this one? When was this
Because
one?
we were the only ones in there.
How do you know? You thought you were the only ones in there.
We
but there-
were the only ones in there.
I've had entire conversations with what I thought was a full-blown person, and then that person will like walk in the room or something. I mean, and it's been witnessed. So I 100% believe that spirits can manifest and look absolutely real, you know. But again, it goes back to, I think they can manifest easier in certain locations based on the amount of magnetic energy and things like that. So yeah, maybe this is, you know, sometimes in certain places, if there's not a lot of electricity or whatever, it's probably takes a lot more energy from spirits to manifest to that degree,
Right.
and some probably aren't capable.
Well,
So
think of all the dead soldiers up there, all that energy that's in
Yep.
Gettysburg. Anything
yeah.
can manifest.
Well,
Anything.
I just
and that
wanna-
never goes away. So
Right.
I just want to stop here. I got a message from Alan saying that we were really rude to him. Did you think we were rude to him?
Nope, I wasn't.
No.
No.
Yeah, he's upset. He said there was so much negative energy on our show.
I don't know
Wow.
why.
I was
Nobody
listening
else
for-
could. Nobody could
I did.
talk.
I mean, no, we weren't rude to him. No, not at all.
He says he feels sorry for the next guest.
Oh.
Well,
He feels sorry.
yeah.
Oh.
He's-
Mm.
He's very upset. He says, I picked up nothing but negative energy from the beginning of the show.
Hmm.
Huh.
Wow.
Well,
Maybe he
I
felt
don't
my
know.
negative energy because I don't feel well. I mean, that could be it.
I mean, who knows? Because one minute we're talking about astral projection, and the next thing it's like a preaching Sunday class.
Well, that's okay.
I got lost.
I'll
I
be
don't know which
honest with you,
direction we were
Jenny.
going.
I got lost because he was going every which way, and
I think he just didn't like you, Sean.
no, I know that.
Yeah, that's probably
Hey, being straight up about that, and you know what, Trish? Me,
Grumpy
I
old
never
man.
get like that. I never get like that. I don't, unless I just maybe once or twice I'll blow up. But you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go.
Just let it go.
Let
Let
it
it
go.
go.
Well, next week should be even really interesting, guys. So I just want to warn you
Oh my
that
God.
it's more of a religious. This guy says he has proof of God's existence from Israel. So I think that would be really interesting. We're only going to have him on for the first hour.
So I don't mean to interrupt real quick, but Russ just messaged me and he's watching the show, the guy that took this picture, and it's up on his big TV, and being that big, he says you could clearly see through the guy's legs.
Oh, really?
So it might be kind of harder on a smaller
I
screen.
can kind of see the tree, you know, through the bottom part
Yeah.
of his legs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but it is grainy as far as the
It's very
Yeah.
hard to see. I mean, I can't get any bigger.
I tell you what, though, we investigated a couple bridges down there. One called the Suicide Bridge, and then Satch's Bridge, or Sachs Bridge, however you say it. And
Zach.
Zach, whatever.
Zach.
And the only thing we really saw was some beavers floating down the river there. And I think we debunked a test that was done on Sachs Bridge.
The cigarette.
Yeah, it was the cigarette method that I seen a video about, where a slave spirit is supposedly will smoke the cigarette. You know, if it's just sitting there, and then move it from left to right and everything. So we found the same spot that this video was taken, and we performed the same experiment. And I don't know, maybe their experience was different, but as far as I'm concerned, we debunked it in the sense that the slightest bit of wind at the precise time would move the whole cigarette left or right, and it's just there's too.
Those two.
Yeah, like
where was this at?
Sachs
Gettysburg.
Bridge.
Yeah, it's another
Gettysburg.
hot spot in Gettysburg.
So you saw beavers, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just floating around.
Well, so beavers, symbolically, of course, especially in the Bible, were known to be kind of guardian angels that guided people to safety on rivers and such. So it's interesting that you.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
That would make sense with slaves,
Yeah.
or whatever back in the day. They're just kind of.
But
Like
no, it was decent because and I enjoyed myself this weekend. I really did. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good
I
time.
learned.
There's a lot of evidence to review, a lot of video footage still,
Yep.
a lot of still pictures, full spectrum pictures. I tried to go through them each night a little bit and, pick out what I could find. So far, there's only one or two, so I got to go back and do some more digging and with a fine-tooth comb and see if there's anything that we missed.
And
So
on
we
my
should.
show on Into the Night after this, I'm going to have Russ on, and we're going to talk about Gettysburg for the hour and this past trip. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. So stay tuned, guys, ladies and gentlemen.
So you mostly stick to the bridges?
Yeah.
At night,
Yeah.
during
At
the
night.
after hours, because everything else shuts down. You're not allowed on the battlefields after dusk, and
Oh, really?
cops are
Why?
throwing people out. I think a couple of our group members got booted out from one area. Then
You did, Sean.
Then more of
Yes,
our
I did.
members went to the same area. They got
So
booted
why
out.
did they? I don't understand. That's where you probably can get the most, pictures are at night.
They don't want people metal detecting, trying to find relics or vandalizing. So it's pretty much to keep people from doing stuff they shouldn't be, because there's always a select few.
Like Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you
just-
do, Sean, to get kicked out?
Well, we were up on Little Round Top, and they claim at dusk, okay, that you can actually see spirits coming toward
yeah.
Round Top, right?
Yeah.
But we had the guy who's in charge of the battlefield kick us out. He said where it was dark out, and he said you got to go. So we left.
So as soon as it gets dark, you have to leave.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess
Wow.
they do it for safety reasons because out there in the dark, I mean, Little Round Top ain't a safe place to be. I mean, there's a lot of rocks and stuff like that, and I guess they're trying to, prevent people from getting hurt. We're lost in them woods.
How
go.
is it real Is it real busy up there? Or
In
Oh,
the
it was on
daytime it is.
Saturday. Oh my gosh, Saturday was slammed full of people.
Crazy.
Yeah, there was like events going on for different charities that we didn't know
Greyhounds?
about. And
no, you
Yeah,
didn't pick a
that-
good weekend then.
No, but
then
you
all
know
the
what?
restaurants understaffed, and
Yeah. And Sachs Bridge is you have to go like at 1 or 2 in the morning down Sachs Bridge because on a Friday, Saturday night, you have all these young kids going down there and they're just making too much noise, drinking and making too much loud noise.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm glad that Russ told me about the Suicide Bridge because that was interesting. That was
a
interesting
creepy
place.
bridge. That was
Yes,
a really
it is a creepy bridge. Mm-hmm.
But didn't seem like a whole lot of, how many times did we go to each bridge? I think like 3 or 4 times on different occasions, just trying to see if we.
I
catch
went
anything.
twice. I went twice. Friday night, Saturday night.
Now, a couple of our members on Suicide Bridge up there in the woods on what was that, Saturday, had the sensation of being pushed down the pathway.
Yeah,
And,
but I think we debunked that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell because there's just a hump in the road where all this was happening that could easily throw you off your balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tris, come out to Pennsylvania. We'll take you on a ghost hunt. How's that?
I love Pennsylvania. Like I said, I moved back to Kansas from New York, so and a lot of my family still lives back east. So
Well, come back to Pennsylvania. We'll take you on a ghost hunt.
that would
Blue
be
Mist Road.
it would be so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Sean's
really would
infamous Blue Mist Road.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's where I started, and I love Blue Mist Road, and that's where I started the group, and I like going out there. It was
Well, I
creepy.
only had that one experience there. I think it was the third time. I think we've been there. I've been there. What, I don't know, maybe 4 times, but the third
Yeah.
time where we all seen that black thing chasing me out of the woods, that
Yeah.
black shadow, and
Yeah,
then
that was creepy.
and then we all saw the lady in white just watching us from afar until we left
Mhm.
out of there. But all the other times it wasn't nothing. But that one time was a good experience for sure.
Kansas
And that-
has so many places too. I mean, I'm excited about this. The dark part of the year, because when the veil is thinner, because I learned so much about the history here. You have Stoll, Kansas, of course, the infamous one of the 7 gateways to hell. That's pretty close to Topeka, actually. There's
Oh,
oh man,
Road trip.
yeah,
trip.
there's so many between here and Missouri. There's a lot of history and a lot of folklore. We're also, on the right ley lines and parallels to
Right.
being right in the middle of the U.S. A lot of stuff happens here. So
what do you think about the 7 gates of hell? I've heard about those before. That people talk about roaming in there, and you go through all these different gates, and if you actually make it to the last one, you never come back.
Hmm.
huh.
What's your thoughts on that? If there's one nearby,
Well, that, which is interesting, the town of Stoll, I visited that place, the cemetery, for the first time. Oh gosh, it's probably been 20 years ago, when I was in college, and there, they still had a church there. They still had there was this tree that the witch was hung from. And apparently, I guess the story says that she mated with the devil, and the witch had a werewolf, and she was hung at the church. And, well, not at the church, at the tree in the churchyard. But since then, both the church burned down, and I think the tree was struck by lightning. And then I don't know if it was removed or burned down as well. So none of that's there. It's just the cemetery. The town gets so much, they used to get so much publicity because the highway running by it, which is one of the main reasons I can see the entire cemetery being haunted. It's a very dangerous highway with the road. It's very curvy. So there's been a lot of car accidents right in that area. Now, a lot of people think that the entire grounds is cursed, and that's what causes the accidents. Other logical people think that it's the curvy road and not enough, signs in the middle of the night that cause the accidents. So there's both. But the tree nor the church are there anymore. And they used to say that you could throw a bottle against the stone wall, a glass bottle, and it would stick to the wall. And that there were stairs leading down into nowhere that they said was one of the stairways to hell. So I haven't experienced that, but
I want to thank our sponsor, Carnation, for making this episode possible. So thank you very much, Carnation, for sponsoring us this evening.
thank you.
Thank
you. I love that stuff.
So do I, don't you? It's really good. This only has 150 calories in it, and it has a lot of protein. So it's really good.
Good for you.
You can put it in coffee too, I found out.
Really?
Yeah, same with collagen. Yeah, mix it with the coffee, and it's delicious. It's for like.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you're a stargazer, Gettysburg's a place to go because
I love stargazing.
I do
oh
too.
my goodness,
It was
there
nice
was
out
tons of stars out there, and it was a little chilly out there this time around. But it's better than being out there in July when it's like 90 degrees.
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah.
But I will tell you this, Jenny, I did look for UFOs.
Good. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, we might have caught that one.
Well,
We
maybe
might have
you
caught
can
that
find
one.
for it. We'll have to
I'll
put
have
it
to
on.
get back
Yeah.
to my pictures and check it out.
Honestly, man, because it was like just up and down. like this.
Yeah, it
And
was. I've never seen anything like it. And I
me
was
neither.
Yeah, you should definitely, when you find it, send it to me.
I will.
Trisha, what is your deal on UFOs?
Oh gosh. That's a whole topic in itself. I mean, I was born outside of Roswell, New Mexico, so
Ooh.
it's something that has always been in my life, and I grew up in the mountains in New Mexico, where in the Gila Wilderness, and they used to White Sands missile range, obviously. They used to test the stealth fighter jets when I was younger. We were the first to see those flying over the mountains, and of course we always saw unexplained. But back then, a lot of the time, a lot of people thought that those were UFOs because it was still, they were just being tested by the government. Nobody had ever experienced a triangle jet of that magnitude. So. But yeah, of course, we, all the time, and being so dark up there and so far away from cities and things. Also on the Arizona border, I wasn't far from where Fire in the Sky, Travis Walton.
Yeah.
I was pretty close to that. And so that's something that's been in my life forever. I also lived in Colorado, where
there's a lot of UFO sightings there too.
Yeah, there's so many there, and so, I 100% believe in that. Obviously, it's even my family originally, when they had lived in Roswell in the 40s. Obviously, that all the people there still remember the incident and being questioned, and now it's become more of a tourist thing there. But I think that even in Kansas, there's a lot of things that happen in Kansas too. Just by talking to people in these small towns, the sightings and it probably is because we're kind of remote, and there's not a lot of big cities in Kansas, and there's a lot of cows.
They have 10. They have those 10 men there too.
Don't forget Dorothy and Toto.
Yeah, little straw man. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think you're going to bring a lot to the show, Trish.
Yes, you are. Yes.
Well, thank you. I'm excited.
Welcome aboard. Yeah, I'm excited too. Welcome.
Yeah. Sorry, it had to be. Never mind. I had it blocked.
I can read your mind.
Now, if he saw someone laughing, that's me. I got the giggles like really bad. I mean, can't help it. I took Claritin.
It's contagious. You start laughing, other people.
It's like when you're in church and you start laughing at something stupid. You can't stop laughing. I mean,
laugh
that
at
happens
the most inappropriate times in any situation.
You ever laugh at a funeral?
Yes.
Yes.
But so that's alchemy. That's transmuting the negative energy, right? It's turning it into something positive and celebrating that person's life. I don't want people to be all sad at my funeral, so I hope they change the energy.
Well, but it's pretty crazy when your relatives turn around and look at you and give you that evil eye. You know what I mean?
You sound like you're talking from experience.
I have some experiences at funerals I can share. But
my!
Yes.
Now, I'm gonna have to.
Gotta wait for the midnight show for that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that while I'm in my bed. So when I'll listen to you. I'll fall asleep to Sean talking. Oh God.
You'll be dreaming of that
goatee. Be like ASMR Sean. Do you ever listen to ASMR?
No.
Tristan, have you ever listened?
I don't think so.
Well, Google. It's like they talk like this. You have to put your mic on a certain way. Okay, let me get this out of here. You'll probably lose you. Okay, we're going to talk tonight. We're going to make sure we get a nice, quiet sleep. But there's a certain way they do, like
But that's my normal voice.
I know. I'm just telling you what ASMR is. You have to, if you set it in a different setting, you can hear it really well. I used to do it. I have on YouTube. There's a couple. I'd get like, you get like. Can you hear that?
Yes.
But if you have it on a special, there's a setting like.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, it's making me hungry.
Yeah, it's there's hundreds of tapes. I mean, that's how I fall asleep a lot because I can't fall asleep. So I do that. I put that on. Just put ASMR on YouTube, and you'll find hundreds of them. Then there'll be like people that go like, yes, like they do these weird things. Like
that'd be creepy.
I just want to take this hair out of your fat. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously,
man, I'd have nightmares.
Seriously, it's like
Sean, you need to start growing your beard out now for the Christmas special.
Yeah, I know. I am.
Are you going to be Santa Claus?
Yeah,
I'm going to be Santa Claus, and I'm going to have
Jenny
to
will
wear.
be the elf.
I'm going to have to wear a beer guard though during that.
Just
season.
because we're a certain age doesn't mean we're going to be Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. Sorry.
Oh, I said an elf, not Mrs.
Oh
Claus.
well, okay. I'd rather be an elf. Actually, I have an elf hat.
Okay.
Well, I am dressing up for a Halloween show, by the way.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Elvira?
No.
No.
It was a surprise.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So we have to think of a show, what we're going to have. I was thinking of getting a psychic on and do some readings. What do you guys think?
We just had one. You didn't ask him for a reading.
No, he wasn't a psychic. He was a
He's
medium.
That's close enough.
Same thing.
No, not really, because psychics they can do readings. Like Trish, you do readings, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's like mediums. They concentrate with the dead, talking to the dead.
Okay.
But see, so over the years of being, a psychic or medium or whatever, I don't even know whether I think everybody has that ability, but I've come to recently, I've started to consider it as, I don't really believe anyone's psychic. I think either we've already lived it or somebody or something or whatever is giving us that information.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. I believe that you're either way, it's a gift. It's like one of your senses. You got your senses,
absolutely. Yeah.
taste, eyes. I think
think
it's
it's
just you have it. There's some people that can actually, I know I can actually pick up things. I should probably do it for a living, but I'm serious. It's really gotten to the point where it's freaking me out, but I think it's just like another sense, but I don't think everybody can do it. I mean, I think they can train themselves. Remember last week we were doing about the circle?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I think everyone is capable. I think, with me, after I died and came back a few times, my senses and my abilities got stronger.
Because you were so close to the.
I was born, that they've always been there. However, they were just heightened after I died. But by my meaning, by saying everyone is capable, I think the human brain, everyone is capable. You just don't.
Human brain, you can do everything.
Real quick, this is what was told to me. Told me a long time ago. Okay, everybody is born with the gift of psychicness. Okay, but spirit, God, whoever you believe in, picks different people a lot, who gives them a little bit more of an ability in order to see.
Yeah,
things.
I believe that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
And then even on the other side, there's people that come by it naturally. And then there's people who train themselves, who use meditation or psychedelics or whatever to obtain that ability.
Witching hour. Good night.
Yes, it is. It's a witching hour. I'm going to bed too. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go listen to Sean. I'm gonna go turn you on.
Just pass out in the chair. Just stay right there, pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you,
Okay.
Trish.
Well, thank you
Yes, thank
everybody
you.
for joining us today. See you next week.
Next
Have a great
Torture
night.
Tuesday.
Next torture. I'm gonna learn how to talk.
Yeah,
Thank you, Trish, for being on.
I'm trying to find our
Yes, thank you.
endings. Oh my God.